15 Worst Towns to Live in Britain. Britain is home to charming villages, bustling market squares, and historic seaside resorts. But not every town is thriving. Some struggle with the collapse of industry, poor infrastructure, or long-term deprivation. While every place has proud people and unique stories, national surveys, government deprivation indexes, and local voices repeatedly rank certain towns among the least desirable. In this video, we count down the 15 worst towns to live in Britain, from number 15 to number 1, exploring why these communities continue to face such daunting challenges. 15. Rotherham, England. Rotherham, in South Yorkshire, was once synonymous with heavy industry. For decades, its steel and coal underpinned Britain's growth. When these industries collapsed in the late 20th century, the town was left with a deep economic vacuum. The 2019 Index of Multiple Deprivation ranks large parts of Rotherham among the poorest in England. Health outcomes are below the national average, educational attainment lags, and unemployment is higher than in neighbouring Sheffield. Its high street, once lively, has lost many major retailers, leaving empty units and discount chains. Yet the story isn't entirely bleak. The Forge Island Regeneration Scheme, which now includes the Arc Cinema and new restaurants, aims to bring vitality back. Rotherham United FC also provides a source of local pride, with the New York Stadium often buzzing on match days. Still, many surveys rank Rotherham low for resident satisfaction, making it a clear example of a post-industrial town in Britain's decline. 14. Clacton-on-Sea and Jaywick, England. Clacton-on-Sea in Essex was once a thriving holiday resort. In its heyday, families from London flocked to its beaches, piers and theatres. But as international travel became affordable, Clacton lost its edge. Today, parts of the town suffer from unemployment, poor housing and an ageing population. Next door sits Jaywick, infamous for being ranked the most deprived neighbourhood in England in 2010, 2015 and 2019. Built as chalets in the 1930s, its housing stock remains substandard and flooding poses a serious risk. Employment opportunities are limited and residents face some of the highest deprivation levels in the UK. Clacton's High Street shows decline too, with fewer major chains and a reliance on charity shops and pound stores. While locals emphasise its affordability and seaside charm, Clacton and Jaywick together have become shorthand for deprivation in Britain. This makes Clacton one of the worst seaside towns in England in terms of livability, despite its coastal setting. 13. Keighley, England. Keighley, in West Yorkshire, has a proud industrial heritage. During the 19th century, its textile mills employed thousands, powering Britain's global economy. But as industry collapsed, the town entered a long period of decline. Today, Keighley faces significant socio-economic challenges. Surveys report high crime levels, underperforming schools, and poor health outcomes. The town centre has seen major retailers leave, replaced by discount outlets and shuttered shops. Although Keighley sits on the edge of the beautiful Yorkshire Dales, it hasn't benefited from the same tourist economy that sustains nearby Hayworth, famous for its Bronte connections. There are cultural highlights. The Keighley and Worth Valley Railway draws heritage tourists, and the town's diverse population brings vibrancy to local festivals. Yet national surveys often list Keighley as among the worst towns in Britain for quality of life. 12 Middlesbrough, England. Middlesbrough is a textbook case of Britain's post-industrial decline. Once a booming centre of iron, steel and chemicals, the town now faces deep social and economic challenges. The 2019 ONS Deprivation Index ranked Middlesbrough as the 5th most deprived local authority in England. Many neighbourhoods fall in the bottom 10% nationally for income, health, and education. Unemployment remains high, and crime statistics are well above the national average. Despite this, Middlesbrough has tried to reinvent itself. The Middlesbrough Institute of Modern Art, MIMA, and Teesside University bring cultural and educational investment. Middlesbrough FC is a proud symbol of identity. Yet, the hardships outweigh these assets for many residents. National headlines often cite Middlesbrough as one of the worst towns in the UK, not because of its people, but because deprivation is so entrenched. 11. Blackpool, England. Few towns are as well known as Blackpool. Its tower, pleasure beach, and illuminations have defined British seaside culture for over a century. But fame hasn't prevented decline. Cheap foreign holidays eroded its tourist base. Today, Blackpool is one of the most deprived towns in England. Health outcomes are among the worst in the country, and according to official data, male life expectancy is around 6 years below the national average overall, with ward-level gaps of more than a decade. Housing is poor, unemployment is high, and deprivation is deeply entrenched. Millions still visit each year, and regeneration efforts continue. But for residents, Blackpool often means poverty, limited prospects, and struggling services. Despite its iconic attractions, it is widely regarded as one of the worst seaside towns in Britain for quality of life. 10. Rochdale, England. Rochdale, part of Greater Manchester, is famous for founding the cooperative movement, yet its modern story is one of hardship. The town has high crime rates, poor educational performance, and widespread deprivation. Antisocial behaviour is often cited by locals, and its high street has shrunk as retail migrates to larger cities. Despite several regeneration schemes, including new shopping and leisure facilities, Rochdale remains near the bottom of quality of life surveys. It has proud traditions, but its struggles keep it regularly featured among the worst towns to live in Britain. 9. Oldham, England. Oldham, another Greater Manchester town, was once a textile giant. By the early 20th century, it was one of the most productive cotton spinning towns in the world today. It is among England's most deprived areas. The 2019 IMD ranked Oldham as the 19th most deprived local authority. Many of its neighbourhoods fall within the lowest 10% for deprivation. Health outcomes are poor, unemployment remains high, and surveys consistently show low resident satisfaction. Oldham's strengths include its location at the foot of the Pennines, offering easy access to countryside and a vibrant multicultural community. Yet these assets aren't enough to lift it from the list of worst towns in northern England. 8. Scunthorpe, England. Scunthorpe, in North Lincolnshire, has long been associated with steel. The town grew around British Steel, which still dominates its landscape. But uncertainty in the steel industry has left Scunthorpe vulnerable. Pollution, economic stagnation, and a struggling town centre add to its reputation. Surveys frequently rank Scunthorpe as one of the least desirable towns in Britain. Its high street is marked by closures, and employment outside steel is limited. Investment in renewable energy and logistics offers some promise, but for many, Scunthorpe remains symbolic of Britain's struggling industrial towns. 7. Burnley, England. Burnley, in Lancashire, has long carried the scars of Britain's industrial past. Once a global centre for textiles, its mills and chimneys dominated the skyline, providing steady work for generations. But as the textile industry collapsed in the mid-20th century, Burnley found itself on the wrong side of history. The 2019 Index of Multiple Deprivation, IMD, ranked Burnley as the 11th most deprived local authority in England, and the statistics back up the perception. Health outcomes lag behind the national average, with higher rates of long-term illness. Educational attainment remains a concern, and unemployment has persisted even as other towns have bounced back. The town centre reflects the struggle. Vacant retail units line the high street, and major brands have been slow to return. Surveys regularly rank Burnley near the bottom for quality of life, with residents citing crime, poor housing, and lack of opportunity. Yet Burnley has its proud traditions. Burnley FC, nicknamed the Clarets, carries the town's name across the football world, and Turf Moor is a source of immense local pride. Its setting among the Pennine Hills also provides natural beauty, but the positives haven't erased the challenges. Burnley remains firmly lodged on lists of the worst towns in Britain, symbolic of the difficulties faced by post-industrial northern communities. 6. Hartlepool, England. Hartlepool, a coastal town in County Durham, is often remembered for its shipbuilding legacy. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, its docks bustled with activity, building vessels that sailed across the globe. But the decline of heavy industry has left Hartlepool struggling for decades. Today, Hartlepool consistently ranks among the most deprived towns in Britain. According to the IMD, many neighbourhoods fall within the lowest 10% nationally for income, health and education. Residents report limited job opportunities, and younger generations often move away in search of better prospects. The town centre has suffered badly. Once busy shopping streets have thinned, with closures and boarded up shops leaving an air of neglect. Health outcomes are poor compared with national averages, and crime remains a concern. Despite the struggles, Hartlepool has its quirky sense of identity. Locals embrace the monkey hanger legend, a folklore tale that has become part of the town's unique character. Hartlepool United FC has a passionate fan base, providing pride on match days. Maritime heritage sites also keep the memory of its industrious past alive. Still, Hartlepool's present realities, deprivation, poor infrastructure, and economic stagnation, mean it is frequently named as one of the worst towns in England. 5. Luton, England. Luton, a large town in Bedfordshire, lies just 30 miles north of London. On paper, its location and infrastructure should make it a success story. Home to London Luton Airport, one of the busiest in the UK, it boasts direct links to the capital and a strong commuter economy. Yet despite this, Luton often finds itself ranked near the bottom in quality of life surveys. The reasons are varied. Congestion is a constant issue, worsened by airport traffic. Much of Luton's architecture reflects post-war rebuilding, concrete blocks and industrial estates that many residents feel lack charm. Crime statistics are above national averages, with antisocial behaviour a frequent complaint. Resident-led polls such as iLive, Here's Worst Places to Live list regularly feature Luton. In 2025, it ranked 7th overall. Deprivation is another problem. While some areas benefit from commuter wealth, other neighbourhoods struggle with poverty and poor housing. Education outcomes can be patchy, and healthcare access is under pressure. Yet Luton also shows resilience. Its diverse population contributes to vibrant cultural festivals and regeneration projects under the Luton 2040 vision aim to transform the town into a healthier, greener place. For now, however, Luton is still widely regarded as one of the worst towns in Britain. A town with jobs and connections, but without the livability that residents crave. 4. Grimsby, England. Grimsby, in north-east Lincolnshire, was once the beating heart of Britain's fishing industry. In the mid-20th century, it was said to be the busiest fishing port in the world, with fleets of trawlers bringing in catches that fed the nation. But the cod wars of the 1970s and changing EU fishing quotas decimated the industry, leaving Grimsby economically devastated. The decline of fishing hit not just jobs, but also the town's identity. Unemployment rose sharply, and poverty became entrenched. According to ONS statistics, North East Lincolnshire ranks among the most deprived areas in the UK, with Grimsby itself at the centre of these struggles. The town centre tells the story: struggling shops, limited amenities, and visible decline. Surveys frequently rank Grimsby near the bottom for livability, citing crime, poor housing, and lack of opportunities. National media often use Grimsby as shorthand for post-industrial hardship. Yet there are signs of recovery. Offshore wind energy has brought new investment to the Humber region, and heritage projects celebrate Grimsby's proud maritime history. The Dock Tower, a Victorian monument, still stands tall, reminding residents of the town's once mighty status. For now, though, Grimsby remains a byword for economic decline, firmly establishing it as one of the worst towns in England to live. 3. Dover, England. Dover's image is iconic. The White Cliffs are symbols of Britain itself, and Dover Castle is one of Europe's most impressive medieval fortresses. But beyond the postcard views lies a town that has long struggled with deprivation. Despite being one of the busiest ferry ports in Europe, Dover has not reaped the rewards. Much of the economic benefit bypasses the town, leaving residents with unemployment, low wages, and a struggling high street. Several wards of Dover are ranked among the most deprived in England, according to the IMD. Crime and antisocial behaviour are frequent complaints, and educational outcomes are weaker than national averages. Surveys regularly highlight low resident satisfaction, contrasting sharply with the town's natural beauty. Still, Dover has its strengths: stunning coastal scenery, rich history, and its strategic role as Britain's gateway to Europe. But daily life for many locals doesn't match the grandeur of its cliffs or castle. For this reason, Dover remains firmly listed among the worst towns to live in Britain. 2. Great Yarmouth, England. Great Yarmouth, on the Norfolk coast, is another seaside resort that has seen better days. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, it was a glamorous holiday destination, filled with piers, theatres, and amusement arcades. Today, though, it is often described as one of the worst seaside towns in Britain. The decline began as cheap package holidays lured visitors abroad. Many of Great Yarmouth's seafront hotels closed or were converted into housing that ONS places the borough among the most deprived local authorities in England, with high unemployment, poor health, and widespread poverty. Crime and drug use have also damaged its reputation. The town centre bears the scars, with empty shops and underused buildings. Life expectancy in Great Yarmouth is lower than the national average, reflecting deep social challenges. Yet, there are sparks of renewal. Offshore energy projects have brought new jobs, and the town's sandy beaches remain a draw for visitors. Local heritage groups continue to campaign for the preservation of the Winter Gardens and other historic landmarks. Despite these positives, deprivation continues to define Great Yarmouth's reputation, cementing its place as one of the worst towns in England to live. 1. Slough, England. Slough, in Berkshire, consistently ranks at the very bottom of quality of life surveys. Despite its strong economy and excellent transport links, it was ranked last in Rightmove's 2024 Happy at Home Index, making it officially the unhappiest place to live in Britain that year. The paradox of Slough is striking. Its proximity to London and Heathrow makes it a business hub, home to multinational companies and thousands of jobs. Yet residents frequently complain about congestion, unattractive post-war architecture, and lack of community feel. Much of the town centre is dominated by industrial estates and concrete blocks, leaving little charm. Crime and overcrowding also feature in national surveys, while property prices remain high due to its commuter location, squeezing local affordability. Slough does have positives: job security, cultural diversity, and ambitious regeneration schemes like the Slough Urban Renewal Project. But for many residents, these don't translate into happiness. With jobs but little joy, Slough is widely regarded as the worst town to live in Britain. From seaside resorts that lost their sparkle to industrial towns still battling decline, these 15 places reveal the harder side of Britain. Each has resilience and pride, yet deprivation, poor services, and low satisfaction keep them ranked as the worst